Loading a mini skid steer or even a full-size skid steer onto certain trailers can be semi-dangerous, and there are some general rules you should follow. In our case, we're going to use this Toro Dingo TX1300 as a demonstration unit. We're going to show it going on this dump trailer. We're also going to show it going on and off a hydraulic tilt bed trailer and show you the differences as to how you might load it in certain circumstances. First, let's start out with the dump trailer that is behind us. While you're loading onto this dump trailer, especially with the mini skid steer, think about where your body is at. When you get to the top, this is going to kind of rock back, and you want to make sure that your body is out of the dangerous path. So if you fall off this machine on accident, you want to make sure that your body is not going to get endangered. That is the most important thing. Now you also have to look at weight as far as what implement you have on the front, if you have a bucket full of material that you're loading or multiple different items. But if you have a generally unloaded skid steer with some sort of attachment on the front without a lot of weight there are some that are very, very heavy, but for the most case, if you just have a Harley rake or something like that, that's going to help you as you're backing up this ramp. And as you back up, you're going to keep your body out of the dangerous path, because if this were to start to flip over, you can hop off the machine, let it roll and do its thing. If you are behind it and it decides to roll that way, you have to get out of the way of the machine, and a lot of bad things can happen. Plus, beyond that, as you get up and it starts to tilt downward, you don't want to get thrown. And that comes into play more when you're driving off. If you are just driving this machine off and it starts tilting forward, you have your attachment on the front that you can keep very low, and you can help stop that tilting. That will help balance everything out and even out the loads and keep you safe while doing so. If you have to back this unit off this trailer, you have nothing to help stop this thing from coming over backwards if it starts to go that way. And if you were to fall off the machine and it continued to come over, you would be in harm's way. Not exactly a good place to be. So if you are renting this, or if you are buying it and haven't done this before, it can be an interesting experience. As you go up, make sure that you go up slow. You don't want to just run this thing in there quick. You want to make sure you get to that tipping area, let it ease over, and then continue to move in, and then make sure you balance out all the weight. Now, let's walk over to our other trailer that we have that's a hydraulic tilt bed. We'll kind of go over that one and show you that one's much easier, but there's still some things to follow. Tilt bed trailers like the one that we have here do not offer the same crazy angles while you're loading them, at least most of them. And if you did have a severe angle while you were loading it, you'd want to take the same precautions that we did with the dump trailer. With that said, and here I parked this machine specifically so that the front of the tracks were up, back of the tracks are resting, nothing is hitting in the middle. So you can see there's not going to be this big roll when we move up this trailer. It's just going to simply drive up and drive down without issue. What you still have to take into consideration is how much weight is on the front of this machine and where you want to distribute it on the trailer. But also, if you are coming down, you always want to make sure that that weight is going to be front heavy. So if you had a ton of weight on this, you could drive it up this trailer without issue. You wouldn't have a back heavy unit, so when it came up, it had the opportunity to roll backwards. But with this little of an angle on this trailer, it doesn't make that much of a difference. If you have any more of an angle than this, I highly suggest putting the most weight forward. So if you had a bucket full of dirt, you would always want to load that front ways. If you had a heavy Harley rake, load it forward, and then you can simply back off. There is not a lot of danger here of the machine rolling because of the lesser angles. Always keep that in mind when you're going up and down even normal hills and driving this. Always make sure that you keep the heaviest portion on the upward bound portion of the hill so that you're not going to come over backwards as you're driving. That means if you don't have anything on here, if you have a bucket that is not loaded, you might be backing up certain things to keep you safe. These things do not have seat belts. They do not have anything that holds you on, so you have to make sure that everything you do is 100% safe and that you are hanging on and you do not fall off this machine. These machines are incredibly powerful. They will do a lot of different things. They will increase your productivity on the job site tenfold. Just be careful when you're loading them and unloading them on certain trailers that have an angle or have ramps. It's just something that you have to get used to, and once you do it 2 or 3 times, it'll be a no-brainer. You won't even think about it again, but it's one of those things that you have to follow some preset rules and laws of physics so that you don't have this machine roll over on you, or you don't fall off of it and have a very bad situation. So I always am interested in your comments below. Give us a like of this video, subscribe to the channel. We have a lot of tool content and also a lot of this mini skid steer content coming, along with other things that we use in our business. We appreciate your time. Have a great day.